Hi, welcome to Spanish class. Today we are going to look at the letter G and what happens when we have the vowels in front of the letter G. As you know, the vowels A, E, I, O, U. Let's look at what happens when the A and the O as well as the U fall before a particular Spanish G letter word. All right, if I give you GATO without knowing the rules of the Spanish letters or the rules that govern the Spanish letters, how would you pronounce GATO? You'd have to guess. But once you know correctly all the pronunciations of the Spanish letters of the alphabet, you will be safe in pronouncing every Spanish word correctly. And that is why I keep emphasizing knowing the pronunciation of the Spanish letters as best as possible, because that is a foundation. All right, so once you have A or U in front of any G letter word, it gives you a hard sound. All right, so as some of us know, this word means cat, C-A-T. I'll just put it underneath. It means cat. But in terms of pronouncing this Spanish word that has an A in front of it, you're going to get the pronunciation gato. Nothing changes. Gato. And if we were supposed to have the word G-E-N-T-E, which a lot of persons know. We usually try to learn the Spanish words with the articles. El gato, la gente. And most of us know that it means people. However, we're looking at the pronunciation based on the rules, the Spanish rules that govern the letters. All right, so instead of, let's focus on O instead. All right, so let's go to O. Let's go to O. That's all right, I'm jumping the gun. All right, so if you have G-O-T-A, gota, that means drop, like a drop in the bucket, a raindrop. That's the drop we're talking about. Gota, gota. If you notice, when the A or the O falls before the G, it gives you a strong sound. So it's ga, go, gota, and nothing changes. Nothing changes with the G in terms of the pronunciation. All right, let's jump to the U. So if I say pronounce the word G-U-S-T-O, how would you attempt to pronounce it? Remember, once you have A or U in front of the letter G, it gives a strong sound. Not a whispering sound, a strong sound, not a passive sound. So you're going to get the same as you see it. Gusto. Gusto. All right, let's go over. Once you have the G and you have the vowels A or U, when either of them falls before the letter G, you get a strong plosive sound. Gato, gota, gusto. But if we were to focus on the E and the I, yes, in front of the G, what kind of a sound do you think we would get? A strong plosive sound? Let's look at it. So the rule says in Spanish, when E or I falls, when either of them falls before the letter G, for example, if I give you this word, G-E-N-T-E, and a lot of persons know this word. It means people. You're not going to get a strong plosive sound. You're going to get an H sound. This is what you're going to get. And I'm just going to write it for you so that you see clearly how it's pronounced. You're going to get gente. You're not going to write it like that, but this is how it's pronounced. Gente. So right away, if you see any Spanish word beginning with G and E falls before it or I falls before it, you know it's going to be an H sound. And that is why I keep emphasizing the importance of knowing the letters of the alphabet, and particularly so the pronunciation of all the letters of the Spanish alphabet. All right, if I should give you an example of a G word, okay. All right, can I make space? All right. I'm sure you're seeing this. If I should give you this word, we know it in English, gigantic, but in Spanish, it's Gigante. It means big, just the same. What kind of a pronunciation would this give you? Remember the rule? Once E or I, E or I, cae ante la letra G, you will get an H sound. So you're going to get gigante. Not gigante, but gigante. All right, let's recap a little bit. Vamos a hacer un poquito. Revisión. Entonces, all right, so the vowels, vocales en español, decimos. When we come to the letter G and we put the vowel A or U, A or U, in front of the G word, any Spanish G word, you're going to get a strong plosive sound. For example, gato. Not hato, but gato. The O falling before the G gives you gota, which means drop. Gusto, when the U falls before the G, you get gusto. On the contrary, when the E or the I, cuando la E o la I se caen antes la letra G, you get a different sound. ¿Sí? Nos pronunciamos muy diferente. You're going to get gigante. Once the I falls before the G, you're going to get an H sound. And once the E falls before a G, you're going to still get an H sound. So you know 3 of the vowels, A or U, once they fall before a Spanish G letter word, you're going to get a strong plosive sound. And on the contrary, when you see the E or the I in front of a Spanish G letter word, you know it's going to be pronounced with an H sound, right? For example, as we have here, gente, not gente, gente. Not gigante, but gigante. All right, that is it for today for our Spanish class, focusing on the G letter sound, particularly the rules that govern the G letter sounds when certain vowels fall before it, okay? Entonces terminamos con esta lección hoy.